What if I told you? Steve Jobs didn't change the world because he was a visionary CEO. He did it because he was a full-blown geek, a design nerd, a Zen monk in jeans, a perfectionist who obsessed over things no one else noticed. In this video, we're not just telling his story, we're going deep into the geek life of Steve Jobs, the hidden side that made Apple the world's most valuable company. And if you want to become like Jobs, stick around, because by the end, you'll get the exact cognitive tools he used and how to start practicing them today. Let's dive in. Jobs dropped out of college, but stayed to audit a calligraphy class. Why? Because he was obsessed with how fonts made you feel. He studied serif and sans serif, line spacing and rhythm, things that 99% of students ignored.
Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great.
This wasn't art for art's sake. It was Jobs training his eye to feel emotional logic in design. To most people, design is decoration. But for Jobs, beauty was the clue that something worked. He didn't separate how it looked from how it felt. That's aesthetic rationality, the idea that form isn't just visual, it's informational. If the design feels clumsy, the thinking probably was too. Geeky obsession, typography and visual harmony, cognitive tool used, aesthetic rationality, viewer takeaway, study typography, learn how design feels. Fonts aren't decoration, they're invisible emotion delivery systems. This obsession would come back to revolutionize the Mac. But before that, he took a spiritual detour. Jobs backpacked across India, searching for clarity. But what he brought back wasn't religion, it was simplicity. He learned that the answer isn't always adding more, it's removing the noise. This became his design religion. Make it minimal, make it flow, make it feel human. Geeky obsession, Zen, and subtractive thinking. Cognitive tool used, subtractive thinking. What can I remove to make this better? Zen decision making, fewer options, more clarity. Viewer takeaway, declutter your workspace. Remove one button from your next project. Build subtraction muscles. But Jobs wasn't just about silence and beauty. He had a wild hacker side too. And it's what really got Apple started. Jobs and Wozniak discovered something called phone phreaking. They became obsessed with breaking into the AT&T phone system by simulating dial tones using a little blue box. They weren't just geeking out, they were learning how systems work from the inside out. Geeky obsession. Hacking systems. Cognitive tool used. System deconstruction. Every system can be taken apart. Reverse engineering is a learnable superpower. Zen decision making, fewer options, more clarity. Viewer takeaway. Pick a system, a website, an app, a business model, and try to take it apart mentally. Start practicing debugging reality. This geeky hack literally led to Apple. Jobs later said, if it wasn't for the blue boxes, there would be no Apple. By now, Jobs had learned that great products don't just work, they tell a story. He scripted product launches like movie plots, the struggle, the reveal, the transformation. He didn't sell tech, he sold belief.
Now, we've done a lot of talking about Macintosh recently. Today, for the first time ever, I'd like to let Macintosh speak for itself.
Hello, I am Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag.
Geeky obsession, storytelling as architecture, cognitive tool used, narrative framing. People don't buy products, they buy identity shifts. Craft stories where the user is the hero, viewer takeaway. Practice pitching like a story. Before, struggle, big idea, after. Make every project you launch feel like Act 3 of a movie. But telling the story wasn't enough for Jobs. He wanted to control everything the story touched. Most companies build a product. Jobs built worlds. He became obsessed with controlling the entire experience. The hardware, the software, the store, the packaging. Geeky obsession. End-to-end ecosystems. Cognitive tool used. Vertical integration visioning. Think in entire ecosystems. Control friction before it happens. Viewer takeaway. When you create something, ask, how will this be experienced before, during, and after? Think like an architect, not just a builder. And even after that, he took it one step further. He started obsessing over things no customer would ever see. Jobs once made his team redesign the internal circuit board just to make it beautiful, even though no one would ever open the case. Why? Because he believed real artists sign their work even if no one sees it. Geeky obsession, perfecting the unseen. Cognitive tool used, invisible craftsmanship. Obsess over details no one's watching. Excellence is built in the margins. Viewer takeaway. Polish something no one asked you to. Make the code elegant, refine your transitions. Let your signature be your detail. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the Jobs playbook. If you want to become like Steve Jobs, here's what you actually need to practice. Aesthetic rationality. Study typography and interface spacing. Subtractive thinking. Remove one unnecessary element per day. System deconstruction. Reverse engineer something weekly. Narrative framing. Pitch every idea like Act 3. Ecosystem visioning. Map the full user journey for what you build. Invisible craftsmanship. Perfect something no one will see. This is not about becoming Steve Jobs. It's about unlocking your own geek path and following it with the same obsessive energy. Here's your challenge. Comment below with one thing you're geeking out about right now. Then tell us, what action are you taking with it? We'll feature the best ones in the next Geek Life episode. Subscribe for more billionaire geek profiles because obsession, when acted on, becomes revolution. And that's how Steve Jobs actually changed the world.